I am the one they call Jesus. I am Yeshua. Reflect upon my name as it is said in the world pronunciation of English. Yes, you are. And I am available to everyone who would like to link in with me. To come in this manner in the speech or the writing of another is indeed very pleasant. It is what we have been waiting for, this time when you are higher in vibration than you were. For those of you who are not high enough in vibration to believe this possible, then we need to use an intermediary. No? I do not talk of men who stand in politics and bang on about the Fifth Amendment, or men who stand in pulpits and bang their fists. I do not talk of people who say the words of a book. I talk of others, like yourselves, who have graduated to a point where they can communicate with people who are in different and higher dimensions. The power of the brain is a wonderful thing, but the power of the mind is even better. It is here that I draw your attention to your language that shapes the way you perceive things and conceptualize things. To mind is to care. To mind is to be aware of. To mind is to think about it and yourself in the context of others and the world and all sentient beings. When you use your mind rather than your brain, you are beginning to work as the complex and complete being that you ought to be and that you will become. It is the Christ energy that allows me to speak with you in this way, and it will be a Christ energy that will allow me and yourself to speak together in the future times. The one who takes this message to you now isn't always sure of the way ahead. She herself has moved up the levels and works with more than just my energy. She works with more than just my mind. She also works with other higher beings, many of whom you would yourselves call ets. You have been mind-controlled for long enough where this subject is involved. Here, I talk of the light beings, the ones of light. What else can I say, for anything else might run the risk of misfeeding your consciousness. This division of darkness and light is to pass as something of history, as if it were no longer to be just the male energy of his story, but the story of worlds and of the many. The passage of time signified by the use of Chronos, the god of time, or that which you refer to as Old Father Time, no longer is to be useful. The records will show what is necessary in order to attempt the truth. The timelines will be worked with in different ways, and so the past becomes more of the past and is not carried forward into the present, and thereby not carried forward in the future. Time will be immeasurable in many ways, as many of you have noticed. When you are gathered together as like minds, like souls, in my name, your time passes a great deal more quickly than you would normally recognize. Time becomes something to be thrown away, almost unrecognizable. Time becomes words on a page, a study and appraisal. There's no emotion needed within it, attached to it, no roles, or should. Unlike your experience in the lower dimension now on 3D world in the third and fourth dimensions, the fourth being the dimension of time. Understand this. You are going through a phase that is both a clearing and a lightening of the energies. This is nothing new, but it is like building a bridge between two places over a river. This is effectively what we are doing. There are many of you who are capable of establishing and building this bridge as though you are architects, for you are architects of your present and of your future to come. Then there are we, the others, who build from the other side. It is not that we meet in the middle, but rather that you build across from your bank to the middle, and when you get to the middle, this highest part that you have reached, then it is feasible to reach us, for we await you still. We have always been holding out an arm and the hand across this river to you. Across troubled waters, as the song goes. Now you can see this. Now our hands can reach and our voices can be heard. It is so much easier for you to hear me and the others, being higher beings, ascended masters, angelic ones, extraterrestrial beings of star systems and of planets other than yours. Do not think to yourself that these beings are necessarily human. There are many light workers who always talk of human. Just what is human? Does a human category fall into only certain colors, 2 hands, 2 feet, a backbone, a brain and mouth to speak with? What if there's no mouth to speak with? What if there is a fantastic brain housed within, a telepathy with a larger holistic view housed within? What if these beings do not have feet? What if they do not have hands, or arms or legs? Somewhere slightly different from you? What if I say some of these beings are also on the land or sea? Should I say? I talk, of course, of many, but specifically the cetaceans. That I also stretch your mind and ask you to question everything is the hand that stretches to meet you. You talk of ships and people coming as though they were landing on an island near your own? You look at yourselves. You see I'm receiving these others who are very similar to you yourselves. Yes, indeed, they are yourselves. And yet, you think you will be all right with ships? When you have watched for years since the 50s and perhaps before, the idea of people coming from other worlds and focusing their attention upon your world? It is important that these beings are light beings. That is, beings of light. Light beings will take great care with the process of initiating contact with you. Even those who make contact with this type of extraterrestrial do so in quiet, with only others who wish to be involved surrounding them. Up until now, there have been rules and regulations about the treatment of such a gifted human soul upon Earth. In the past, and I talk here of the past 100 years, but of course I could go back much further to the times of the Inquisition. In the past it has been your governments who have taken these people and put them in jail and tortured them, disrespected them, risked their lives and their health, accused them of this and that, of being a criminal or party to a criminal circumstance. These people need not be martyrs. The whole idea of me coming 2,000 years ago was that I will be the only one. I did not die for your sins. I died so that you would not have to. My teachings were teachings that might be considered today as the teachings of a yogi. My teachings were those of ethics and kindness. I am your brother. I say to you these things because I do not wish to see any more suffering or dying upon your world. You are developing as a species. It is not necessary to consider how things have always been. This is why a lot of you are losing your grip upon the timelines of the past. Time vanishes. You are not handling correlations anymore. Only those things that help you learn will be remembered. And when I talk about learning, I talk about the learning of love. I talk of the learning of new ways of being. I talk of the learning of higher degrees of receptivity, of conscience, and of love. In all these things, I also talk of respect. Respect is not shown by the bullet, respect is not shown by the dagger, the sword, the whip, by allowance of starvation, by poisoning, by fear. Respect is not giving in to greed, the ability to take life into fear. As you develop as beings kind, you will be tested, and these tests will be much more subtle than the rest. Yes, it is true there is a coming off of the wheel of karma. In this coming off the wheel of karma, the timelines disappear. However, the timelines still function according to the karma produced by the actions, thoughts, and deeds of those on the ground. You have not carte blanche. You have instead, if you like, an air balloon of energy, an energetic device that helps to keep your energy clearer and higher than before, as it serves your clarity of mind and conscience. I call upon the heart here to consider conscience. As you develop, you become more aware that you are in charge of your karma. Do not misunderstand me. You still have your karmic board to answer to. You still have the experience of being judged, or rather being given all the information to judge yourselves in that instance of the life review before you go on to experience the next point of being and learning, and then of course, the next point of service should you wish it and when you wish it. The difference is the subtlety and the responsibility. I leave you now with the reassurance that all is well. We're at a high point in the bridge. We are reaching out to you, and soon more of you will hear us, see us, and know us. You are changing your world one thought at a time, one action at a time, one beginning again at the time. We commend you. We send you our love, for in truth you are loved greatly here. Those that you would be afraid of, for some of you have little knowledge of how to distinguish the light from the dark ones. These ones of your light, of pure diamond white light, send you their love. They are not all human, for, as above, so below. Races of all kinds or beings abid here now awaiting your ascension. You are truly loved, and so take love into your hearts in these most difficult of times. And remember, we are always with you. Speak my name, for I am Yeshua. Yes. Sure. Yes, you are. Jesus, King of the Jews, ascended Master. Your brother in love. I stand by your side. I am in your heart. Peace be with you, and may we meet soon. The rainbow bridge can be crossed by those in life. This is the way of the yogi, the Buddha, the Christ. Channel, Joy, White Lioness,